Hey, it's Evan from RemoteSales101.com, and in today's video, we are doing another remote lifestyles video. This time, we are on Mexico. So, let's get right into it. Let's first off, let me make myself a little bit smaller there. Good, and let's get right into it. Slideshow for Mexico. So, Mexico. Who lives in Mexico? So, a lot of Mexicans are very warm, family oriented, very Catholic culture still. And it's a very social culture. A lot of people, a lot of groups. If you end up staying at any time in Mexico, they have a lot of parties, fiestas. There's always a holiday every couple of weeks, it seems like, in Mexico. And yeah, it's such a good time, such a warm, welcoming culture, too. And yeah, I have nothing but nice things to say about my Mexican friends as well. They message all the time. And I remember. When I moved down to Mexico about 4 or 5 years ago. Just literally just like when I mentioned warm on there, like it's very much under exaggerating how warm and welcoming a lot of the people are. Especially if you're not from the country as well, and if you don't even really understand the language either. So yeah, and there's also a very large digital nomad and expat community presence, a lot in certain areas of the country too, kind of allocated to a few that I'm going to name in a little bit. But yeah, it's already been pretty well developed as it is next door to the United States for quite a while for different remote work for obvious reasons that we're going to get into. So, what is Mexico like? Mexico is such a diverse country. There's such beautiful beaches, some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Lots of mountain ranges, especially in the central area. Lush jungles too, and there's also desert out in the north. As well. It's a super diverse place. It has rich, very rich traditions, as well as a delicious and very unique cuisine as well. Some of the best food in the world is Mexican food as well, and I think that's a pretty objective opinion on it. So where to stay? So I put three places on there. I think I've been to around 13 or 14 different states in Mexico. So I'm talking about very basic here. I can make another video going over different regions, different states, and different cities specifically to stay. But as a basic premise, there's three main areas that people will end up moving to as a digital nomad. So number one is Mexico City. It's for the culture, urban life, and it's so easy to get to from the United States. There's like literally hundreds of flights that go from anywhere in the states to Mexico City. So it's a great hub, and you can literally get to anywhere in Mexico from Mexico City since it's very central as well. Then there's Playa del Carmen and Tulum. So that's on the east side of Mexico. It's on the Caribbean side. I've stayed in Playa del Carmen. I've been to Tulum a few times, but I've mostly stayed longer term in Playa del Carmen. While there, I think it's a lot better for uh, ease, as well as the prices are a lot more reasonable. It's still a little bit more expensive for versus other places in Mexico, but the pricing versus what you get for quality of life versus Tulum is kind of night and day. What they've done to Tulum the last like maybe 10, 15 years is kind of tragic, to be honest. But yeah, it's a beach and nomad hub, but Tulum is still a pretty big nomad hub. Like they just had their new airport built out there too. They have the train Maya, even though it's not the most handy thing in the world, and the traffic there is just super horrendous. But a lot of people, they still like Tulum. Tulum still has such gorgeous beaches as well, and there's a lot to do there, and they're building up more and more the infrastructure from what I've heard. But it's Mexico at the end of the day. Sometimes it could be a little bit slow. Then there's the opposite side of the country. So that was the East Coast with the Caribbean. We're going to head to the Pacific Ocean, so Puerto Vallarta. Wrote down here a little chill coastal city. When you compare it to Playa del Carmen, Tulum, and Cancun, 100%, it's a lot more chill. But yeah, there's a lot of places to go and see around Vallarta. It's not my favorite place in Mexico, but for top three nomad places that have ease of getting to, like Vallarta is one of the cheapest places to fly to from Vancouver in Canada. So like flying to Puerto Vallarta is sometimes cheaper than flying to like Calgary or flying to Toronto or Montreal. Calgary a little bit less times. Calgary is a little bit cheaper, but literally just flying out to Toronto or Montreal or even Winnipeg or even the further east coast like Halifax, Newfoundland, all that sort of fun stuff. Like Puerto Vallarta is cheaper than all of them, and that's with like a return ticket as well. So yeah, just kind of ease of focus. And Vallarta, it also has a pretty nice weather, but it can be hot, can be humid at times too. So when to go to Mexico? As it is a very big country, you should always do your due diligence before going, especially for the certain regions that you're going to. Obviously something in Sonora, Mexico on the northwest side is going to be completely different than something that is out in Campeche, which is in the Caribbean side on the southwest. It's going to be very, very different. So always check and make sure that you know the weather before you're going in your specific region of Mexico. But as a general rule of thumb, November to April, it is the best for drier weather. But you should avoid, this is primary precautions, mainly August, September on the coast, mainly for hurricane risks as well, especially on the Caribbean side, which a lot of the digital nomads and a lot of expats and remote workers, they are all out there. So, how to accomplish getting over to Mexico? So, what you want to do is fly into a few of these hubs. So, you either want to fly into Mexico City, Cancun, or Guadalajara. We didn't really talk about Guadalajara, but I've actually spent probably the most time during my stays in Mexico in Guadalajara, so I'm very, very familiar with it. Yeah, I could talk on another video on some of the spots to be able to stay in Mexico, like I said before. But yeah, you're usually going to fly into any one of those three airports when you're heading to Mexico internationally. And you usually get a 180-day tourist visa for many different countries and nationalities, but double check that before going in there. And then what you're going to be spending monthly in Mexico is going to vary on where you are in the country. So I wrote down here a range between 1,000 USD up to over 1,800 USD per month. That's kind of to have all basic expenditures and have some freedom money as well too. But yeah, it depends where you're staying. Like apartments in say Playa del Carmen, for example, are going to be $900 a month. So you're going to be carrying a little bit more month to month rentals versus say other parts like maybe a little bit outside of like Guadalajara, for example. You might find something for like maybe $500-600 a month or so, something literally in half. Guadalajara has gotten a little bit more expensive over the last 4 or 5 years since it's starting to be a little bit more of a digital nomad and remote work hub, as it is easy to get to. As you can see, you can fly into it very easily. It's one of the top 3 airports that you fly into internationally. Yeah, housing usually in Mexico, housing is going to run you between $400 to $800. Food can be between $250 to $400 per month, depending if you're grocery shopping or not. But the cost, it can creep up. Those pesos can quickly disappear if you're not careful either. So why Mexico then? So Mexico, because of its proximity. So it's very close to the United States and Canada, especially for time zones. So this is very important for remote work. You're mainly either going to be on like the mountain time zone, the central time zone when you're in Mexico. I think maybe sometimes you're on the eastern time zone when the time zones change, and sometimes on the Pacific side too. You just have to kind of double check and see if daylight savings times is applicable in your part of the United States or Canada, depending on where you are, aka Saskatchewan or Arizona. Both in Canada and the United States, where they observe daylight saving time. So you just want to double check some of the time zones in there. But it's super, super handy if you are working for a U.S. company or a Canadian company to be able to work in Mexico, because the time zones are super, super favorable with that. And you can just fly into the States or Canada for under 5 hours or so. There's easy flights. It's international and domestic flights too, once you're inside of the country as well. And cheap for value, but that is quickly changing, mainly due to inflationary policies in Mexico, around 10 to 12% inflation per year. Most banks, they end up giving like 10 to 12% interest for most of their savings accounts. So if you put that into equation, like, hey, they're not just giving out 10 to 12% interest for no reason, it's because they're printing a lot of money as well. So I've seen a lot of changes in Mexico the last 5 or 6 years for the prices, and it's gone way, way up over those last 5, 6 years. But it's still it still can be very valuable in certain portions of the country too. Because yeah, it is an incredible country. It's super rich. The cuisine is just so good, and there's so many diverse regions that you can go and visit in Mexico as well, that you don't just have to stay on a beach. You don't just have to go up to the north to the desert. You don't just have to stay in the cities. There's so many different places for you to be able to go and explore and see, and you can literally go from one side of the country to the other side in a collectivo if you really wanted to. So Mexico, is this your next remote destination? For me, it's been mostly home over the last 4 or 5 years, as I do have a residency in Mexico. If you would like me to make a video on how to get Mexican residency, I can attach that in here if you are watching this video. From the level 2 unlocks from school, yeah, I could definitely add that in here as a resource in there. Or if you're stumbling onto this from YouTube, you can comment down below if you want me to make a video on how to attain Mexican residency as well. And yeah, because the process, there's so much information online on how to do it. And yeah, most of it is all smoke screens and BS. But yeah, I'm more than happy to make a video on that just so that it's a little bit more easier as well. So let me know down in the comments if that's something that you would like. But yeah, once again, my name is Evan from RemoteSales101.com, and this was another Remote Lifestyles video. Hope you have a great rest of your day.